Good evening, I'm Jake Burns. Officials have confirmed another person has died after a 3-alarm fire on Glass Road in North Chesterfield Friday morning. Well, starting yesterday, Virginians began casting early ballots in the June 8th primary elections.
That breaking news coming from Windsor, Virginia tonight, where the town manager has announced a police officer has been fired over a traffic stop involving a Black and Latino Army lieutenant. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tracy Sears.
And I'm Jake Burns. This comes just hours after Governor Northam called on state police to investigate the December incident and offered to meet Lieutenant Karan Nazario. Town manager William Saunders released a statement that reads in part, quote, "It was determined that Windsor Police Department policy was not followed." The CDC and the FDA announced the pause on the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine has been lifted. Our Matthew Foltz joins us live on what health officials are saying. And Matthew, you've learned that J&J is not being used locally just yet. Is that right?
Today, that became true for the entire state.
Yeah, that means that all adults can schedule their own appointment, no wait list necessary. And 16 and 17-year-olds are now eligible for the Pfizer shot. Tyler Lane has the details. Well, new at 11, a Petersburg woman is going viral after sharing a funny and heartwarming TikTok video. The star of that clip, a neighborhood dog who just wanted to be her best friend. Take a look.
I can't take you with me.
I can't wait to see that. If I just didn't want to walk home.
I know, right? Well,
it
looked like it might have been raining a little bit, which, you know, I don't want to get out in the rain myself. But the smile was the best part. She was like, "Look at him." And he was like, kind of gave him a little smirk.
I love that.
A 14-year-old girl is expected to be okay after Petersburg police say she was grazed by a bullet tonight. Officers arrived at this scene on Farmer Street around 7. That's where the teen was treated. Police tell us the victim heard what she thought were fireworks going off and then realized she had been hurt. New at 11, America's toughest road race is back in action. The Foot Levelers Blue Ridge Marathon came back in Roanoke today after getting canceled last year because of COVID. People came from all over to take on the challenge and running everything from a 10K to a double marathon. Yeah, that's 52.4 miles. The double marathon began several years ago as sort of an unofficial part of the race weekend. Runners would show up to the course in the middle of the night beforehand and run the entire thing and then just, run it again for some reason. Good evening, I'm Jake Burns. A 32-year-old man remains in the hospital in critical condition after a Spotsylvania County Sheriff's deputy shot him multiple times. The incident last week now bringing calls for accountability and transparency. Tonight, we're getting our first look at body camera footage and 911 tapes. A warning, some of the images you're about to see might be disturbing to some.
Show me your hands! Show me your hands!
The first time you see Isaiah Brown in this body cam footage, he's already been shot.
Show me your hands now!
Multiple times by a Spotsylvania County Sheriff's deputy.
Drop the gun!
We're seeing too many more black men and black women are being shot by law enforcement.
Investigators say the deputy was responding to a domestic disturbance call around 3 a.m. Wednesday. In a 911 call released publicly by Spotsylvania officials, you hear Brown threaten to kill his brother while on the phone with the dispatcher. However, Brown also says he is not armed.
On scene, someone's walking on the roadway.
That was prior to this deputy arriving, where he tells dispatch he believes Brown is holding a gun. The attorney for Brown's family says he was actually holding a cordless home phone and talking to 911 when the deputy fires 7 shots. The Browns family lawyer saying the shooting was, quote, completely avoidable.
Mr. Brown was struck by the gunfire. The deputy immediately rendered life-saving first aid.
Several gunshots to the abdomen. Performing life-saving measures.
Spotsylvania Sheriff Roger Harris saying in a video statement the deputy is on administrative leave and the Virginia State Police are investigating the shooting.
At the recommendation of the Commonwealth Attorney, a special prosecutor in this case was appointed.
Was it an egregious act on part of or malicious or malpractice on part of the police officer?
592 out, 5 shots fired. Suspects laying down the roadway.
You know, we're only getting part of the story. What we know at the end of the day, that a black man ended up getting shot and he's in the hospital.
The local chapter of the NAACP helped negotiate the release of the footage and the 911 call. Julia Spain with the Virginia State Conference says while an independent review of the incident is a good start, questions remain unanswered.
I'm really curious to know when the call came in, what were the conversations between the dispatcher and the sheriff who showed up on the scene?
This investigation remains ongoing. We put the entire clip from both the body camera footage and the audio from the 911 call on our website for those who'd like to review it on their own.
Broad Rock, it's a beautiful part of Southside.
The Broad Rock Community Garden, where Brandon Love finds his center.
Biggest thing is the energy and the grounding.
Brandon goes by B-Love.
Our black mothers, they've been telling us these rules for so long.
His poetry has been the center of attention lately.
It's called Black Mothers, Black Rules.
At Black Lives Matter protests across Richmond.
Black mothers have a set of black rules.
She said, baby boy, I don't care how cold you get. Never walk around town with your hood on. Baby boy, you cannot play outside with those toy guns like your white friend. I don't care if they're BB, airsoft, water guns, or Nerf. Your black skin tone rattles the men in blue nerves. Black mothers have a set of black rules that they tell their black sons before they leave their black house.
Because if you make the news before you make it home, she said, I'll look God in the face and say, you are too late.
The poem isn't new in so many ways. B-Love wrote it 4 years ago.
That poem is in high demand. It's in high demand again. It's understandable. Again, that poem is 4 years old. The pain is over 400 years old. At any given time, I may not make it back home. And so, again, just the idea that I say in the poem, an unarmed black man is still armed with being black. And so that's powerful to me, man. I mean, George Floyd, unarmed. Tamir Rice had a BB gun.
Right now, his pen has been exchanged for words already written because B-Love says his mother's rules haven't always protected him from discrimination.
It's funny because a lot of the stuff I try to bury because it's so real. And a lot of stuff you just, because it happens so often, you just bury it and keep moving, bury it and keep moving, bury it and keep moving.
In this moment, his poem and performances aimed well beyond black mothers and black sons.
For me, every day is a holy day, and I'm just trying to make it back home to my family, too.
B-Love says they already know it.
It's not a role that I'm playing. It's not a position that I'm playing. This is just me at the end of the day. And again, if you are not connected to a movement, just take some time to breathe. That's what I can tell you. Take some time to breathe and really listen and really understand why people are crying out. Really understand where this pain and this passion and this emotion is coming from.
B-Love calls this moment the new Black Lives Matter movement. He says plenty of folks have been working on the issues for many years now, but the global energy behind it is different. He says that here in Richmond, it's more than statues and street signs. He says a real change is going to take listening. Working for you in Richmond, Jacob Burns, CBS 6 News.